Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the worldwide national team selection thing. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if you want to hear about a particular player, click on the description, I'll be linked to take you straight to them. You get to see my stupid face this time because I'm recording it live on stream, and we're going to get a little bit of chat interaction because chat might be giving some thoughts as we work our way through. So we will start with our goalie, and it is Mohamed El Shenawi. So no club affiliation, straight away a negative there, no face scan. You can't see his form because my stupid face is in the way, but he's got standard form. He's got captaincy, but no goalkeeper skills, so that's a negative as well. But we're going to jump over to eFootball. We'll train him up. So let's have a look. He's not brilliant. He's got a decent height, 6'3". Arm coverage is not disastrous, but it's not great. Apparently, he's got chop down. He doesn't have chop down. That's a lie from eFootball. He's just got captaincy. Yeah. Awareness good, catching and parrying kind of okay-ish. Reach is pretty good, but reflex is 86 sucks. So in terms of retraining, I had a little look earlier, you can get his reflex up to 90. There. I would just do that. 1 point left, stick it on aerial. I don't know if chat would do anything different, but yeah, for me, I would do that. And he's kind of solid, he's alright, but no club affiliation. He's not got the most amazing physical profile. I guess if you're Egyptian, it might be a cool one to have, but like you're going to get a lot of value out of him otherwise. If you're new to the game, maybes. But yeah, good height, like Bala says, but he's not brilliant, is he? He's an alright keeper. If you're new to the game, or if you're Egyptian, or if he plays for the team you support, or he has played for the team you support, could be a fun one to pick up. And he's certainly not bad. You know, you look at the attributes, you know, the awareness, the reach, reflexes and reach, getting them all to 90, decent catching, just parrying's a bit iffy. Apart from that, though, pretty solid. But I would say as well, no goalkeeper skills, and that distribution is absolutely honking. He's not got any distribution skills. Early 50s, you know, 52 and 54 line lofted, so his distribution is awful. So there's a few negatives with this guy, but in terms of the core goalkeeping attributes, he certainly could do worse. But I just don't know how much use most people are going to get out of that dude, unfortunately. So let's move on. I know Bala's going to be interested in this guy. So we've got Richard Ríos. For some reason, commentators always pronounce it Ríos, but according to Ballard, it's Ríos, so I'm going to say Ríos. So this is not the first time I've had a version of Ríos. We've had a Player of the Month card. This one's better than that one, but we've got a couple less skills. There was a couple more skills in that Player of the Month card. We had a highlight card from a Showtime pack that was slightly better, but realistically, when you auto-allocate them, that one from that highlight card previously had a bunch more points on stamina, and that was about it. Didn't really have much else in this one, whereas this one has better passing. We'll see that when we go into eFootball in a minute. So yeah, I would prefer this one personally to that other highlight card. And the boost is up from his GB card. Really, it's just his low passes are the biggest boost. So let's jump over to eFootball, have a look how good he is. Again, standard form, you can't see it. I can't be asked to turn all the graphics on and off, but he's got standard form. You can use him in the Brazilian League Challenge if you get to do the Brazilian League Challenge, which most of us don't for no apparent reason whatsoever. So yeah, some people might get use out of him for league challenges, but outside of that, we'll just have to see how good he is, see if he's going to be worth having. So back over to the hub. Maxed out. Decent, not amazing, decent. One thing I will say of Ríos, you need some skills on him. We were talking about this either on the stream or on Discord recently. He needs a few skills. What skills did we say last time? One touch pass, through passing, interception, and I think those three are very important skills. And then the last two, personally, I'll give him, especially if you're going to use him as a DMF, I'll give him man marking and blocker. If you're going to have him a bit higher up the pitch, you're not too bothered about defending, then in addition to one touch through an interception, I'd say maybe his heel trick, maybe his first time shot or long range curler. Yeah, stamina could be a little bit higher. It'd be nice to get that 90 mark. Where can you spare the points? So you can nick a couple of passing. I like to go for about the 90 mark on passing, on low pass. I think on the ball is okay. Could do with a little bit more on tackling, especially if you're going to use him DMF. Let's do two builds. DMF build first. So auto allocation DMF, I wouldn't change a lot there. He's kind of okay as a DMF. I don't really rate that build too high. I think he looks okay. He could do a job as a DMF, but like the physical contact's not too high, balance isn't too high. I could do with a little bit more stamina maybe. The defenses are decent, not great on the ball. Passing's alright. Doesn't look that exciting. I think it's a CMF. I'm gonna focus on him as a CMF. We're gonna give him a bit of everything. So a couple of passing. First thing you want a tackling up to at least the 80 mark. I would do that. 3 points left. That's not a lot, is it? Get that stamina tonight. He's a box to box, isn't he? I think that's probably what I'll be doing. Yeah, tackling to 80 plus. Yeah, Ballard's saying centre mid, but is this the one you've got, Ballard? You've probably got more than one, haven't you? Yeah, he looks pretty solid as a centre mid. He doesn't look amazing, but he can definitely do a job. I think like we saw just there with the DMF build, if you make him a DMF, you sacrifice too much elsewhere, and he just doesn't end up looking that great. But as a centre mid, as an all-rounder, a little bit of defensive ability. On the ball, looking much tidier. Passing, still got a 90 mark for low pass. He's got pretty good pace for a centre mid. And he's got the stamina up to 90. He's already at 89, not a massive difference, but nice to hit that 90 mark. Got some kicking power behind his shots. Got long range shooting. Physical to 75 for auto shield. I don't know if that the threshold for auto shielding is what it was. I have a feeling it changed slightly. Actually, that's a good shout though, Delia, because there's no points in aerial. You only need 4. You could go +4 on aerial for only 4 points. Where could we nick a couple of points? Oh, there's just not many points you can nick, are there? I mean, you could use them off, lose them off dexterity, but then you lose some attacking awareness. Let's just sacrifice a bit of stamina. Get 4 on aerial. In fact, we'll do 3 on aerial and go and put 1 back on lower body. That might be worth doing. You only lose 1 off stamina there. You can definitely afford to lose a point off speed and kicking power, but you can get a few points on physical contact there. 76, wherever that threshold is these days. Yeah, physical contact's important in midfield. It's a good shot. Yeah, what's everyone saying? Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'd go for. A good solid all-rounder. Like I say, I think the one thing with Ríos, he's pretty solid. He's not amazing. I'd like a bit more balance, a bit more awareness, both attacking and defensive. Ideally, a bit more ball control maybe. There's a few attributes I'd like to be a bit higher, but the big concern for me is the skills. He really needs a few skills. Given those important skills, I think that's a solid centre mid. If you get the Brazilian League challenge, could be very handy. If you don't, I think you really need to give him those skills for him to be useful, and he might not get in your squad even then. But certainly for a fair few people, it could be a very solid midfielder to pick up. It's not a bad one at all. Right, who we got next? Oh, we got Vidal. Right, 1 secondo. So Arturo Vidal, we've not had many versions of this dude. Let me check my notes. So yeah, we've had a few Vidal cards. It's not a massive difference, but this one is just about the best version of Vidal that we have had so far. He's had a pretty mixed boost. The biggest boost they've given him is on his pace. Doesn't look like it there, but they have boosted his pace more than anything else. He's got inconsistent form. Again, you can't see it on the screen, sorry about that. Yeah, inconsistent form, that's not great. But he does get live update, I think. You get live update from the Chilean League, don't you? But there's no league challenge for the Chilean League, which is a shame. He's got a face scan. I forgot to show you Ríos' face scan, didn't I? Where's Ríos? There you go. I've done him dirty. There you go. His hair looks a bit iffy, but he's got a face scan. But yeah, go back to Vidal. So yeah, Vidal obviously got a face scan with his awesome little mohawk thing. But no league challenge, a bit of a downer. Inconsistent form is a bit of a downer. Skill-wise, he's lacking as well. Similar to Ríos, there's a few skills you need. I mean, to be fair, he's got 1 touch and interception, so through passing I think is the most important one you need on Vidal. If you're going to use him as a DMF, I would really consider giving him man marking and block as well. So through passing, man marking, blocker, those are the 3 most important ones I think. Does he need outside curler? Maybe. He doesn't desperately need it, but it's always a nice one to have. But yeah, 1 or 2 skills needed, but let's train him up. Back over to the hub. Where are we? So how good is this Vidal going to be? He's decent. Yeah, he looks pretty usable. I mean, he's a similar level to Ríos, isn't he? Again, similar level to with a lot of attributes, really. He's not as quick as Ríos, but a lot of other attributes looking really similar to Ríos, actually. Really similar. More aggressive, as you'd expect from Vidal. Again, what kind of build are you going to give this guy? Let's start with the DMF. Let's see what auto allocation tells us. Not bad. Not bad as a DMF. You've got to give him those skills, like I say. You're going to need to give him man marking and blocker. But not bad at all. Defending's gone up to 14. Is that efficient? No. It's a shame to go just below 90 on a couple of those. To be honest, though, you could leave it there. I think he's okay everywhere else. Maybe he needs a little bit more stamina. I don't think he's really desperately lacking anywhere as a DMF, really. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be really efficient, you could nick a couple off defending. He's still strong defensively. 8 points that gives you. Make him really physically strong. Stick 1 on dexterity. I mean, if you're not too bothered about the physical contact, you can get his low pass up to 90. Maybe do that. And he can defend that. He can pass as well. Again, you will need that through passing skill. Yeah, DMF pretty strong. Very usable. Centre mid. Bit of an all-rounder. Don't need as much on defending. We'll start with the auto allocation. So this is where we started. Again, don't need quite as much on passing. Again, there's nothing on aerial interest in that. It's interesting, they don't seem to put any points on aerial for physical contact and centre mids quite often. I'm just going to go 4 on there, stick one on dexterity. Yeah, I would probably go about that. Again, he does look very similar to Ríos to me, but he's looking solid. It's one of these cards where, you know, there might not be a league challenger, consistent form, he's not brilliant, needs 1-2 skills, there's a few negatives there, but he's a popular guy, Vidal. Like 1-2 guys are saying in chat, you know, he's a bit of a low-key legend. A lot of people like this guy have not had many chances to get him. At least one of the previous ones was in a Messi pack. I think I got one from that Messi ambassador pack. It cost like a $5 or whatever. But yeah, it's a decent card. It's not an amazing one. It's not going to be a Vidal. We may get some legend versions at some point in the future. I imagine we probably will. But yeah, for now, looks like the best version we've had of him, and it's a solid centre mid. Could be a very decent defensive mid. He can make him an attacking mid. Should we see if we can make Vidal an attacking mid? He used to have like almost every position, didn't he? I remember having him on my club years back, and he could play on just about everywhere. Attacking mid? Don't know. Not sure about that, to be honest. Be an interesting one, an aggressive one. He'd certainly be a capable one, but can't shoot very well. Attacking wise isn't brilliant. I think attacking mid's probably a bit of a stretch. Wide mid, he's not going to have the pace, is he? I'll do auto allocation just quickly, but yeah, not very quick as a wide mid. Not amazing technically. I wouldn't do that, but certainly as a centre mid, very solid. Defensive mid, decent. Like I say, I'll say similar to what I said with Ríos. I think if you're outside of whether you're a big fan of this guy, if you're just looking at how good he is to get into your squad and that, I don't think that many people are going to really get value out of him, but a lot of people are going to like the guy, in which case you're going to want it for emotional reasons. But just in terms of how good he is, you've not got a league challenge. It's not a brilliant card, but it's the best version of Arturo Vidal. And even though it's not an amazing card, it's a pretty solid one. Needs 1-2 skills, but I do think I'll probably be a reasonably popular on that one. If on a destroyer, says Moose, yeah, he won't have a playstyle as an attacking mid or as a wide midfielder. He will have a DMF or CMF, obviously, but auto allocate attacking mid. Yes, sir. I think that's roughly what I just did, isn't it? Is that pretty similar to what I came up with? They put 4 more on finishing. Yeah, same as what I said before, really. I'm not sure I'd really fancy that and not active playing style, but yeah, it's a solid card. In terms of the quality, you know, certainly decent. If you're new to the game, could be good. It's probably more for nostalgia, this guy, like I say, but yeah, I think a fair few people quite like this guy, and it is the best version of Arturo Vidal, so it is a decent one, even though it's not an amazing card. Right, who is next? Diego Gómez from Brighton. So this is the first time I've had a Diego Gómez card, featured Diego Gómez card. Pretty mixed boost from his GP card. Physical contact and defensive engagement are the 2 biggest boosts he's had. He does have a face scan. He's an orchestrator this time. Right footed, he can apparently play left mid and left wing forward, although his main position is again centre midfield, 3 centre mids in a row. He's got unwavering form this time, so that's good. And you can use him in the English League Challenge. So got some positives with this guy straight away. In terms of his skills, got quite a few skills here. Got most of the important ones. 1 touch through, a bunch of shooting skills. Outside curves are nice on weighted pass, low lofted. Just needs some defensive skils. If you're going to use this guy as a centre mid, he needs defensive skills. So interception's a very, very important one. I'll consider man marking, blocker. But yeah, just 1-2 defensive skills needed really. Apart from that though, pretty well equipped. Got unwavering English League Challenge. Loads of positives so far. There's a face scan, isn't it? It looks like a face scan. Yeah. But yeah, let's train him up. Let's go over to eFootball Hub. Let's see how good Diego Gómez is. And again, he's decent. He's not amazing. I mean, we always start with the lowest rate and work our way up, but he doesn't look like he's better than Vidal or Ríos to me. He just looks all right. Again, I think all 3 of them have gone to 92 low pass and auto allocation, haven't they? Yeah, he was into Miami before, wasn't he? Yeah, playing with Messi before he went to Brighton. But yeah, orchestrator. So you can play in centre mid. You can train him for defensive mid or attacking mid. We'll start as a centre mid. Again, I don't think you need quite as much on low pass. I like to go about the 90 mark. It's not going to make or break anything. It's not like a magic threshold, but nice to just hit the 90 mark. Free up 6 points by taking 2 off there. It's going to depend how you want to use this guy. We're up to 8 on defending. I don't think I'd want to put more points on there because you're not going to make him great at defending. He could do with a bit more balance. He could do with a bit more attacking awareness. So I'm going straight on dexterity. And I don't think I'd do a great deal more. He's not great on the ball for a centre mid. I'm not too excited about this guy. He's got decent pace. He's got some kicking power behind his shots, but finishing's only 70. He does have shooting skills though, so half decent shot maybe. A bit of physical strength. Could do with a bit more balance. Stamina's fine. Defensively, yeah, he's okay for a centre mid, not brilliant, not great on the ball. Passing's fine. Yeah, there's nothing too excited about this guy. I don't think he looks that great to me personally. So yeah, I'm not too excited centre mid. If you position training for defensive mid, what does auto allocation tell us? It tells us he's not great, not good enough defensively or physically really to be a proper DMF. I don't think that's really worth doing. Attacking mid, and then we'll finish up by looking at him as a left winger. Attacking mid, again. Is he great as an attacking mid? No, he won't have like the playing style. It's going to cost you at least one position trainer, potentially about 7,000. He's decent on the ball as an attacking mid, passing kind of decent, but none of them quite as high as I'd like them to be. Finishing still not amazing. Attacking awareness still not quite what I'd like. I'd like to be 80 plus for an attacking mid. Pace, kicking power, stamina, yeah, still not much balance though. I don't know. Don't fancy him as an attacking mid. So then we got left wing. I mean, you could make him a right wing, but I mean, to be honest, that build I'm looking at there, I'll be tempted to just go with something like that for a wide man, to be honest, right or left. He's not going to have amazing crossing. He's not got crossing, has he? No, he's not got the crossing skill. And that's an area. eFootball helps playing up with aerial superiority. If they've not got aerial superiority, it says they do. If they do, it says they don't. That seems to be the case at the moment. Very strange. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I'll do something like that as a winger, to be honest. He needs to be good in the ball. He can maybe just nip one off the ball there and give him a little bit more speed, maybe. And he could do a job up wide, you know. He's got a bit of pace. He's okay on the ball, got a bit of end product with his passing. And if you gave him pinpoint crossing, you'd have a decent cross on him. But do you want him to be a right mid? Is it worth the position trainers and the skill trainers? Not so sure. Left wing, he's got long range curler. Could be half these coming off the left wing, to be fair. He's got the passing skills. He's got the shooting skills. Yeah, he wouldn't be bad. No active playing style. Again, he got a little bit of pace. He's got some kicker power minus shots. Not a great deal of curl, and the finishing stat itself isn't great, but he's got the shooting skills, including long range curler. He could be half decent as a left winger, so I think this is one. It could be a handy one for the English League Challenge. I don't think he's one that many people are going to look at and think he's going to go straight into your team, even for the English League Challenge. But certainly in any given week, if this guy's got form, and you've not got many other players with form to play centre, mid or down the left, he could do a job for you. He could be decent, but it's not an amazing card. I think all in all, I would say Ríos and Vidal probably a little bit better as midfielders, but the fact this guy can be using the English League Challenge, he's got unwavering form as well. And he's got a bit of versatility as well. He's probably about as valuable overall as those previous two, but it's not the most exciting card to me. So yeah, decent one, could be a handy one, but not one I'll be rushing to get personally. Right, who is next? Aramburu. So I've got Aramburu, who plays for Sociedad. I'm not familiar with this guy. So we've got a defensive fullback. Have we had a version of this guy before? Yes. So we've had a highlight version of Aramburu previously in some kind of legend box. About the same overall rating. Stats are shuffled around. On that previous highlight card, a bunch of attributes are a little bit higher, but this one is much better defensively when you get more trained up. So I prefer this one. So the overall rating, if you got that previous highlight card, the overall rating's about the same. So on the face of it, they're about the same. But for some reason, as much as that previous highlight is better in a bunch of areas, it's got like 1 or 2 extra points and a bunch of attributes. You got a load more points on defenses on this, and this is a defensive fullback. So I think this is better than the previous highlight card, even though the overall rating's about the same. And interestingly, if you look at the skills, it looks like one touch pass and man marking are new. So it's one of these rare highlight cards. They started doing this now and then. They've added 1 or 2 skills. So one touch pass and man marking, new skills on Aramburu. In addition to that, you've got soul control on a defensive fullback. Unusual, but I'll take it. Interception, very important one. Aerial superiority, he's not the tallest. We'll see what his jumping's like in a second. Doesn't look great. Sliding tackle, front speed. So you've got some good skills there. I think if you're going to add skills, blocker is the first one I'd add. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything he desperately needs. But if you're really going to use this guy a lot, maybe through passing, maybe acrobatic clearance, maybe outside curler. It's not overly two-footed. He does not have a face scan. But yeah, let's get this guy trained up. Let's go over to eFootball Hub. Where is eFootball Hub gone? It's there. There we go. So, is he any good? Yeah, he's decent. He's a decent defensive fullback, this guy. So, one of Venezuela's best talents. Cheeky centre midfield build. No, you can't train him for that. Right, so you can train him for right mid, you can train him for centre back and left back. As a defensive fullback first, not great on the ball, but most people who like a very defensive fullback probably won't mind that. Defensively, he's pretty strong. Pace is good. Down there, a bit of physical strength, a little bit of balance, good stamina. I wouldn't change a great deal, although, yet again, They've gone to 13 on lower body. It's not efficient. You can lose one off there comfortably, and you've got 4 points to play with. And I'll personally stick him straight on aerial, give him some beef. Easy peasy. Nice. Again, you see it's not listing aerial superiority. We're just seeing in the game itself he does have that. That's a pretty strong defensive fullback, to be fair. I mean, if you like getting to the 90 mark, you could actually nick another one off lower body and get that acceleration to 90. Might be worth doing. Not going to make a massive difference, but good passing for a defensive fullback. It's not bad. I mean, he's got one touch pass, low pass 78. I mean, for me personally, on a fullback, I aim for 80 plus, so he's not far off that. He's a defensive fullback. You could argue it's not as important on him. But yeah, that's a pretty solid looking defensive fullback. If you like attacking fullbacks, he's not going to be your cup of tea. He's not great on the ball, but he's got all the other qualities. But yeah, certainly if you like a defensive fullback, it looks like a very handy card. And playing for Sociedad means you can use him in a Spanish League Challenge. Looks like a right-footed Ronaldo. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Yeah, he looks solid. He looks very usable. Could be a handy one, this. Let's just quickly look at other positions. Right wing, I don't think he's going to be good. Let's just go straight to auto allocation. So auto allocation says he's not a great right winger. If a right midfielder for you is a wing back in like a 3-4-3 and you want him to do a bit of everything, maybe a stretch, but I still don't think it looks great there. Nothing there looks particularly good for me as a wide midfielder, so I wouldn't use him that way. Would you like him as a small, nimble centre back? Ooh, what does chat think? That's interesting. There's a lot of points on defender. You can nick a few off there and leave him all 90 plus. You can get his area up to 12. And if we nick that 1 point of passing, we can actually go to 30 in aerial and get him 88 physical contact. Okay, see that +2, that jump from 86 to 88. He's going to be horrendous in the air. He does have aerial superiority, but he's less than 260 centimeters jumping height. So this guy's going to be bad in the air. But if your opponent's using small, quick strikers and he's not going to be putting a lot of crosses in, he could be usable. Yeah, like delete saying there in a back three, certainly. Put him on the right of a back three. He could be handy there. He's got some fairly good pace for a centre back. You can get his physical strength to a decent level. Those defences are looking very strong. 98 defensive engagement. All 90 plus down there. All in the 70s down the left column as well. It's the height is the only issue, really. So yeah, depends on what kind of strikers your opponent's using. But yeah, consensus seems to be back three. He would get bodied by tall strikers, like Moose is saying. If your opponent's got big strikers, get him off the pitch. You need big tall centre backs. But if your opponent's using Romario and those types of little pacey strikers, I'm not saying this guy's on that kind of level, but he could certainly do a job against that profile of striker. So as a sneaky centre back, need one or two skills on him. Blocker, I think blocker and acrobatic clearance will be my starting point. Of course, he does have aerial superiority, but yeah, there's enough qualities there that he could be in some situations that are very handy centre back, especially in a back three. But I'll leave more to allocation there just to close. Yeah, solid, handy. You can use him in the Spanish League Challenge. We don't get that many really good defensive fullbacks as well. So yeah, if you like a defensive fullback, he could be a pretty handy one. That guy, he's not bad at all. And apparently they've made him 2 centimeters taller because he's actually 174 centimeters. Knowledge from Moose. Nice one. So yeah, there you go. Defensive fullback, very handy. It could possibly be a sneaky centre back for some people. So there you go. Right, who have we got next? We've got Yoane Wissa from Brentford. So again, we've got another one you can use in the League Challenge. I made it, I think, 8 players in this pack that can be used in League Challenges, which is great. Where are my notes on Wissa? So yeah, we've had a few versions of Wissa. We've had a player of the season card last season, not the recent player of the season back, but the one last season. Overall rating about the same. Stats are kind of shuffled around a bit. One difference between this one and that player of the season one, though, part of the fact you can train this card is that there's no first time shot in this one, so you would need to put first time shot on him if you use him as a striker. It's an important one for a striker to have. I've had a highlight card in some kind of legend box, pretty similar stats shuffled around a bit. I've had one in a Premier League pack that was a left wing forward roaming flank, not quite as good as this card in any position. And in terms of the boost from his GB cards, I had a decent boost, mainly his ball control, tight possession, kicking power, physical contact. But they've taken 2 points off his low pass, they've taken 4 points off his lofted pass, and they've taken 2 points off his heading. So yeah, apart from those ones they've nerfed for some reason, and the ones they've boosted quite nicely, the rest are just boosted by 1 or 2 or 0. So yeah, very mixed boost. He's got a face cam before I forget. He's got unwavering form. Again, you can't see that, sorry, but you do get to see my stupid face. But yeah, unwavering form. You can use him in the English League Challenge. Goal poacher. Like I mentioned just now, first time shot, you're really going to need to give him first time shot. Very important skill on a striker. But he does have long range curler, self control's a handy one to have, acrobatic finishing. He's a super sub, always nice. So he got some decent skills there, but Certainly going to want to give this guy first time shot, but you're also going to want to train him up on eFootball and see how good he is. So, where is eFootball? It's there. So, all maxed out, trained up. He's decent. He's quick. He's got awareness. The finishing, I'd like to be a bit higher, but it could be worse. Decent on the ball. A little bit of physical strength. Decent balance. Decent kicking power behind his shots as well. I think there's plenty to be said for this card. I think it looks alright, to be honest. They made him short, though. He's 180 centimeters on FOTMob. But on here, apparently, he's 176. So, again, they got that height wrong, apparently. Knowledge from Moose again. Yeah, I think that looks like a decent striker. First time shot is the one thing that he really is lacking. In terms of the attributes, I like a bit more finishing. Can't really do much to get the finishing up, really. I mean, if you wanted to sacrifice that physical strength, you could afford to do that. And then if you took that one-off passing and one-off dribbling, still 80 plus and all the on-the-ball attributes, and then bang, 90 finishing. Is that worth doing? I reckon it probably is, to be honest. Yeah, pretty handy. Pace, awareness, finishing, those are the important ones on a goal poacher. I think could be very decent, very usable. Could we use him out wide? You could position train for attacking mid. Can you make his passing good enough for attacking mid? I'm going to take a wild guess that you're not going to be able to do that. 72 low pass. Yeah, this guy's not an attacking midfielder. SS would be similar. His passing's not good enough. I think with the strengths he's got and that playing style, you want him up top centre forward, but as a wide man, right-footed, obviously he's not going to be on the right. He's not going to be able to cross the ball very well. But on the left, his passing is going to be absolutely horrific. But good on the ball, good pace. We've lost a bit of balance, but the awareness is good. The finishing at 82. He's got long-range curler. Could be useful off the left wing. He won't have an active playing style. Whoops. He won't have an active playing style, but I think he's got plenty of qualities to play wide off the left. He could definitely do a job there. Drop the awareness for physical contact. Interesting. I personally wouldn't. Awareness for me is very important on a striker. You've got to be reacting quickly to the ball in and around the box. But yeah, maybe it could be a shout. But yeah, certainly as a wide forward though, I think he could be decent. Be really, really careful with the passing. You might want to give him one-touch passing through passing to improve his passing a bit. But on the ball, it'd be good. Pace. We have lost a bit of balance. I'd like to be a bit higher. Got a little bit of physical strength. Don't always have that on a winger. Although they've started putting a lot of the legends and showtimes recently. They boost the physical contact quite a bit, so it's not that uncommon. But certainly for a highlight card like this, it's decent, if not amazing. Yeah, he could do a job out wide, but I think certainly as a striker with eager water allocation, whether you do what I did and you get that finishing up to 90, or like Moose is just saying there, maybe you want to put a bit more physical strength on him. You could make him reasonably strong, get that physical up to 80. That could be a shout. If you think 88 is high enough awareness and finishing, which you might do, it's not a massive difference. Get that physical contact up to 80. That's a decent shout. That could be a decent build for you. So yeah, what's chat saying? Yeah, and super sub as well. He could be a very decent super sub. Yeah, super sub, you see. Yeah, could be a handy one. So I think it's not bad. Skill-wise, first-time shot, like I say, it's a big miss. You do need to give him first-time shot. But he's got some pretty good attributes for a goal poacher. You can use him in the English League Challenge. You've got unwavering form. I think he's a pretty handy card. Like I said, there's a bunch of cards in this pack that you can use in League Challenges. And this one could be a handy one. It's not an elite level card by any means, but it's certainly got a lot of qualities. I think for a fair few people, it could be a very handy card to pick up for your English League Challenge. Right. Who is next? Arana from Brazil. So this is not the first time I've had an Arana card. I quite like this guy. I had his GP card a while back. What notes were made in Arana? So Arana, I've had a couple of highlight cards of his. There's one from a Brazilian League pack that's very similar to this one overall. There's one from some kind of Legend pack that was a bit better. So if you got that one from a Legend pack, or maybe it's a Showtime pack, maybe it's like a Brazilian Player of the Season a couple of years back. If you got that one, it is a bit better. Not a massive difference though. And the boost from his GB card is a pretty even one overall. He's a bit better on the ball. He's got a bit more on his tackling as well. Only standard form. He does have a face scan. You can use him in the Brazilian League Challenge if you get to do the Brazilian League Challenge, which most people don't, because skill wise, one issue that we've always had with this guy, nothing defensively. So when he gets forward, long range shooting, first line shot, pinpoint crossing, great, but when he's not getting forward, you need him to defend, and he's not got the skills to defend really. So you need interception for a start, and I'd recommend man marking blocker as well. But he's certainly got a few skills going forward. But let's get him trained up. Let's see how good Arana is. He's He's got some qualities. I think going forward he's alright. I'd like a bit more on the dribbling and tight possession personally. But apart from that, I think he's alright down the left. The attacking awareness is pretty high for an attacking fullback. Defensively, it's the awareness and tackling that are lacking a bit, and the lack of defensive skills as well. This guy's a very attacking fullback. If you like a defensive fullback, this ain't your guy. But pace is good, kicking power is decent, very decent. Got a bit of physical strength on him, to be fair. Decent balance, good stamina. You can certainly nick a bit off lower body here. They've only gone to 12 this time, but I'm still going to nick a couple there. I'll leave those all around 90 or so. We'll do a more defensive build first. We'll see if we can make him more competent defensively. Oh, that's a bit of a struggle, unfortunately. I'm going to take all those off aerial, actually. Yeah, so you can get all his defenses to 80 plus. If you're quite concerned about his ability to defend, I think that's worth doing. I don't think you've lost too much from elsewhere. I think he's still fine athletically, but you can get him to 80 plus in all four his defensives. I'd be tempted to do that personally. I think that's probably what I would do if I had this card. In addition to giving those defensive skills, I know I've said that a couple of times already, but it's super important. Those defensive skills do make a difference. But yeah, if you're concerned about the defending, I think that's worth doing. If you're not too bothered about defending, I mean, the auto allocation I'll probably stick with. I mean, you could make him a bit better on the ball, even make him a bit more comfortable on the ball. That might be worth doing if you just want to focus on his ability getting forward. Maybe he's going to have a decent cross on him. Yeah, that could work for you. A very attacking fullback. You can make him a left wing as well. What's chat saying? Is Ballard got him? Ballard's got him, is he? Yeah, when I had the GP version of him, it was a fun one. He was pretty decent for me. Face scan. Did I forget the face scan again? No, I didn't. Lies. Going forward, been pretty solid. Yeah, very offensive indeed. Similar to Bellanova. Interesting comparison. Yeah. Track back. Yeah. Well, if you play him as a midfielder, you need track back. That's good timing. I'm about to do that. Track back, you don't need another defender. But yeah, as a midfielder, if you just do away with all the defensives, as a left midfielder, I'm tempted to do that. It would be nice to make him a bit better on the ball there, but getting the acceleration past 90, balance right up to 89, attacking where it's up to 80, lofted at 88. He's going to have a very nice cross on him. He's not got too much curl on him, but kicking power 90, he's going to have a nice cross on him. He's got the pace, he's got the stamina, balance. Not amazing on the ball. If you're more concerned about making him better on the ball, do a bit more dribbling with him. You can nick a couple back off dexterity there. You could go a bit lower on passing if you want. Get that dribbling up to there. It's still not amazing on the ball. Is it worth doing? Maybe, maybe not. You could do it either way, really. Focus on his on the ball, being better on the ball. You could focus on the passing, give him a really nice cross on him. But he could be a decent left mid if you position training for that. If he's a left mid, you've got all the skills you really need on him. You don't really desperately need anything else. So yeah, or you could position training for centre back. I don't think this guy's going to be a good centre back. Should we try? I mean, he could be worse, but no, he's not a great centre back because he's not strong enough physically or defensively. So forget about that. I'll leave him auto allocation. So yeah, again, it's one of these players. It depends on what kind of fullback you like. Moose doesn't like being called a liar. But yeah, it depends on what kind of fullback you like. If you like a very defensive fullback, not for you. He's not going to be great. You can obviously get his defenses up a bit higher, like I did there a minute ago. But he's very much an attacking fullback. Either way, really needs a few defensive skills. And as a left midfielder, he could be a handy left midfielder with some pace and definitely some decent crossing ability. So a couple of ways you could use this guy. For the Brazilian League Challenge, it could be a very handy one to have. But if you don't get the Brazilian League Challenge, is it worth the skill trainers? Is he going to get into your team? I don't know. I don't think there'll be too many people who are going to get value out of this guy, but especially if you get that Brazilian League Challenge, it could be a handy one to have. He is a very attacking fullback. He is a very handy one. Does need a few skills. Depends how you train him, but for some people, it could be a pretty nifty left back to pick up. Right, who's next? Again, we've got a centre back. So West Ham player who for some reason went out on loan. I was surprised by that because I thought Aguerd was looking good for West Ham, but they let him go out on loan to Sociedad. We've got two Sociedad players in this pack, interestingly. Got a face scan, which I have remembered again. Thank you. Build up centre back. He has unwavering form again, which again you can't see because I'm a terrible streamer and YouTuber. But yeah, he's got unwavering form. He's a left footer, got a left footed build up, 6'2". Skill wise on Aguerd. Where are my notes? So On this guy, again, they've made a change to his skills. So I'm not 100% sure about aerial superiority because, like I say, if I was playing up a bit on that, I think he's already got that. But apart from that, I think the only skills he's got on his GB card are heading and interception. So it looks like we've got a bunch of new skills here. It looks like man marking, blocker, fighting spirit. I think all three of those skills are new. So we've not got all the skills we need for centre back. We've got most of the important ones: heading and aerial, man marking, interception, blocker, fighting. I think the only ones you'd really need defensively are acrobatic clearance and maybe sliding tackle. Defensively, though, apart from those two, you've got a really good selection to start off with. They have added a few there. And we have had one previous version of Aguerd. We had a highlight card and some kind of legend or showdown box. Pretty similar overall, stats shuffled around a bit. This one has those extra skills, though, which that previous one didn't. In terms of his GP card, the way they boosted him, they've given him a decent boost to his pace, his physical contact, defensive engagement, aggression. But it's another weird one. They've taken 3 points off heading. They've taken 2 points off jumping. And then there's a few attributes that have gone up by a few. There's a few that have gone up by 1. There's a bunch of stats that haven't gone up at all. But yeah, they've nerfed his heading and jumping a little bit. It kind of reminds me of the Marquinhos match pass card that we've got at the moment. I think Marquinhos is the premium match pass, isn't he? For some reason, they nerfed his kind of heading and jumping, I think, if I remember rightly. It looks like I've done similar with this guy, but they've boosted him in a bunch of other ways. And let's find out how good a boost it is. Let's jump over to the hub. And to be honest, it's pretty decent. The heading at 81 is still not great. So heading is a slight concern, but the jumping is good at 90. Physical strength is up to 88 there. Straight away, though, again, defending's gone up to 14. Those last two increases of 4 points each. That's not efficient. If you take those two away, he's still 90 plus in all his defenses. He's freed up 8 points there. Jumping, his vertical reach there, 277. That's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's strong enough. He'll be pretty strong in the air. For me personally, if you can free up 8 points and you're 88 for physical contact, I like a bit more on a centre back. So Bosch straight up to 90 physical contact. That gives us a bit more jumping, of course, as well, and heading. I think that's well worth doing. And with 2 points left, I mean, you could maybe put on passing, getting past 70 low pass, but for me personally, on a centre back, I think it's more efficient to use goalkeeper 1, get a bit more vertical reach on him. You're just shy of 280 centimetres there, 94 jumping, got the physical to 90, defensive 90 plus, pretty decent pace, stamina's fine. I think that's a solid looking centre back. Left footed build up. You thought he was taller, did you? Yeah, he does look kind of tall. I like this guy. He's pretty solid. Like I said, I was surprised West Ham lined him out. But yeah, he's a good player, this guy, and I think it's a solid centre back card, to be honest. It is annoying they've nerfed his heading and jumping a bit, but I don't know. They do what they do, don't they? Leg length. Mars is asking about leg length. 183. So yeah, pretty decent. He's a lanky guy. It's a good centre back. It's a solid centre back. Again, he's a Sociedad player. You can use him in the Spanish League Challenge. That's a big plus. Unwavering form. I don't see any real weakness there. I think he's just a really good side all-rounder, this guy. He's got a good physical profile. He's got good attributes. I think he's solid. I think there's a lot to be said for him. I think he's a very handy card. So, yeah, for the Spanish League Challenge, a very nice option to have. I'll be very pleased if I got this guy, actually. I said the other day when I was going for PK, all my centre-backs in the Spanish League Challenge seem to be destroyers. I've got a couple of build-ups, but they're not the best. I've got Eder Militao is lacking man marking. So yeah, I'd quite like this guy as an option for the Spanish League Challenge. I feel like I'm talking myself into spinning this pack. I shouldn't do that. I've been spinning too many packs lately. But yeah, this is a good centre back. Build up, left footed, physical profile. Yeah, attributes. Yeah, skills improved from his GP card. Could maybe do 1 or 2 more, but he's got most of the important ones there. So yeah, for me on the whole, not just for the Spanish League Challenge, but in general, that's a good solid centre back card, I think. Right, who's next? Ugarte. So, Manchester United midfielder Ugarte. This is not the first time I've had a version of Ugarte, unsurprisingly. So, we've had an old nominating contract one ages ago. I think it was Golden Boys, something like that. It was a box-to-box. It wasn't as good as this one. We've had a couple of highlight cards since then, which are pretty similar. Stats all shuffled around a little bit. Got more skills on this one. We'll come to that in a second. So had a pretty mixed boost from his GP card. Most of the boost is on tight possession and pace, kicking power, physical contact. The rest are boosted by just maybe there's a few. There's a few not boosted at all. The skills, though, like I mentioned, another one with an interesting boost. So it looks like they've added one-touch pass and through passing. Big additions on any kind of midfielder. And I think, is it blocker is the other one they've added? Yeah, blocker. So again, they've started doing this on some highlight cards. They're only doing it on, you know, on a minority of them, but they have started doing it on some cards, obviously trying to get more people spinning for them. And those are nice additions, one touch and through, and then defensively, as well as interception. We've also got blocker now. We've got slide and tackle point spirit. On a DMF destroyer, I'd like man marking as well, but we've got a pretty decent selection there. Outside curler would be a handy one to have. Face scan before I forget. Only standard form, but you can use them in the English League Challenge, of course, because it's Man U. So yeah, we've got some positives with this guy. They boosted his skills. Let's get him trained up. Let's go back to eFootball Hub. Pros and cons. Pros and cons. So down the left is my concern. He's not brilliant on the ball. He's not too confident in possession. His passing's not great. They have given him one touch pass and through passing. That will improve him a bit with his passing, but still a low pass 84 is not brilliant. Some people are okay with that. A lot of people on a real out-and-out defensive midfielder are fine with that. So if that's the case for you, great, you're sorted. For me personally, I'd like a bit more. But certainly, I don't think anyone can complain about those defensives there. He's in the 90s for all his defensive attributes. Again, we've got a very high defensive engagement. And then on the right, athletically, everything's looking fine. The balance is a little bit iffy. But apart from that, it's looking pretty sound. For me personally, it's a question of whether you would sacrifice a few points from defending and make him a bit better technically. For a lot of people, probably I think a lot of people would say it's fine. Worse than the goalkeeper. Would have been better if he played for Newcastle. Interesting. We tried to get his jumping to 70. Yeah, so it's one of these cards, like I say, it's pros and cons. You've got some attributes I think could do with being a bit higher. I think for like an out-and-out defensive mid, I could maybe stick one from defending there. Like Moose is saying, get that jumping up to 70, get a bit more physical strength on him. I don't think there's a great deal more you really need to do. You can sneak another increase in the aerial there. You've got 1 point spare apparently. What could you do? You couldn't do a lot really. Maybe take one off dribbling and get another one on aerial. Or even on dexterity, get his acceleration to 80. Yeah, maybe if I'm playing this guy as an out-and-out defensive mid, I'd probably do something like that. Still really strong defensively there. We've got 2 or 3 more on physical contact. I think it'd be pretty handy there, but that left column's the thing for me. So if that left column bothers you as much as it does me, and this might be more of a double pivot build, but if you took a few away from defending there, a little bit off his physical contact, can we make him a bit better technically? Yeah, we can. You can get him to 88 like Wallow. So that to me looks much nicer. You've not sacrificed a great deal from his defending there, or his physical or anything else, but you get that ball, nudge that ball control to 80 there, but you got that low pass up to 88. That for me is a difference maker. Like I say, a lot of people don't mind those attributes down the left being a bit on the lower side in a DMF. If that's the case, good for you. Auto allocation or similar could be great for you, but for me personally, shuffling a few points around like that, he's much more appealing to me now, because I like my DMS to be able to get on the ball and pick a pass. So, bit like my non-booster Davids, that's a stretch. It does look like a decent card though, to be fair. So yeah, looks pretty solid to me. Again, you can use him in the English League Challenge as a DMF. He looks alright. You can position train him for centre back. Shall we see if Ugarte can be a sneaky centre back? He might be, you know. He's not too far off in some of these attributes. Let's have a look. He's not bad, you know. Right, who wants to use Ugarte as a centre back? No need to up passing that much if you play PA1. Yeah, that's a good shout as well. Pass support might be a factor, and smart assist, which a lot of people use. So yeah, Ugarte to centre back. So again, defending on 15, not necessary, but if we leave him 90 plus on his defenses, we've got 15 points to play with here. Hang on. Okay, so you're not going to have him in defense if your opponent's got big strikers and he's spamming crosses, but he could be pretty handy, you know. I mean, is anyone going to do this? Probably not, but just to show what you can do with a guard there, you could make him a centre back. He's not that short, 5'11". He's not far off 6 foot. He does have terrible jumping. His vertical reach is awful, 261.9. So again, like when we looked at Aramburu, if your opponent's got big tall strikers, you're screwed. Get him off the pitch. You need big tall centre backs, but if your opponent's strikers aren't tall and he's not spamming crosses in, you could make Ugarte a pretty usable centre back, you know. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but yeah, again, maybe he's in a back three. Maybe he's in a back three, but yeah, whether it's a back three or just because the opponent strikers aren't particularly tall, he's not spamming crosses. In some scenarios, he could actually be a very usable centre back. So again, I'm not recommending you do that, but if you do that, 1 or 2 extra skills, he could be a pretty usable centre back. But we've looked at DMF. What else we got? We got centre mid. You can make him a wide mid or an attacking mid as well. Centre mid. To be fair, he's pretty decent as a centre mid. He could be very decent. The destroyer playing style is going to be active still as a centre midfielder. He's not going to be amazing on the ball, but he could be worse. Passing, pretty much on the mark. Defensively, he's pretty strong for a centre mid. Down the right there, the concern for me as a centre mid is his attacking awareness and balance above 70. Those are both very low for me. Got a bit of physical strength, stamina, flying speed, and all the rest. Could be very useful as a centre midfielder. And he could increase his dexterity actually. But where would you get the points from to do that? I don't know. I'm not sure you could really spare that many points to get his dexterity up. Probably not worth it. So yeah, one or two weaknesses there as a centre mid, but plenty of qualities. He could do a job as a centre mid. Can we make Ugarte an attacking midfielder? I'm not even going to do auto allocation. I'm just going to do it myself. Need to make him better on the ball. Yeah, you can't do a great deal with him as an attacking mid. An attacking midfielder with 71 attacking awareness, 60 finishing. Not for me. Not for me. Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. Is it worth the position trainers and the skill trainers to give him a few shooting skills, maybe some dribbling skills? No, it's probably not. You could do it if you want. It wouldn't be terrible, but I don't think it's worth it. And then wide midfield. What's auto saying for left mid? It's saying don't bother. Same thing. Is it worth all the trainers to do it? I mean, if you play wing backs, you could train him maybe as a right wing back if you really wanted to. Reasonable pace. Most of the attributes down the right looking alright. And if you nicked a little bit from there, got his defending up a little bit. Just nick all those off there, get his area up a bit. He could do a job as a wing back. I don't know if he looks brilliant as a wing back, but maybe if he really wanted to. But how many people are going to use the position skill trainers to make Ugarte a wing back? Probably 0. So yeah, I don't know about that, but you do have 1 or 2 ways you can use him. But certainly as a defensive midfielder, pretty solid. Depends on what kind of build you want. If you're bothered about the passing and the technicals like I am, you might want to shuffle around like I did. Otherwise, defensively, looks really strong. He's got some physical strength. They boosted his skills. You can use him in the English League Challenge. There's a lot to be said for this card. It's a pretty handy defensive mid, certainly for Man U fans. A nice Man United affiliated Ugarte card. I think for a fair few people, it could be a pretty handy one to pick up, especially for that English League Challenge, but outside of it even as well. It could be a very usable one. It's a decent card, that. Right, where are we? Just a couple left. Lautaro first. So, Lautaro Martínez. Have we had any Lautaro cards before? Yes, we've had about 3,000. Yay. This is a good one, though. So, we've had a few... He's had a bunch of Player of the Week cards. There's a few that's slightly higher rated. Not a massive difference in any case, though. Stats obviously shuffled around each time. Different playing styles. We've had Poachers, Fox in the Box, Deep Line Forward. As far as I can see, none of his Player of the Week cards have as much pace as this one does when he's fully trained up. We'll see that in a moment. So that's one big plus on this card compared to his previous Player of the Week cards. We've had a couple of Legend and Showtime cards that are obviously better than this one. In terms of his highlight cards, we've had a bunch of highlight cards that are around about the same level as this one. But this is one of the quickest versions. The pace might be the difference maker with this card for a lot of people. It's one of the better versions of him in terms of his on-the-ball attributes as well. Definitely up there. And the boost from his GB card is pretty decent. Quite often with these higher rated cards like Lautaro, is quite often they don't get much of a boost from their GP card when we get a highlight card, but he has actually had a decent boost. So yeah, the boost is better than it could have been. And what they have boosted the most, it's very mixed. They boosted his dribbling, his tight possession, his pace, like I say, his kicking power has been boosted a bit, and physical contact. But again, it's a weird one because they've nerfed one or two attributes. They've taken 4 points off his heading and his jumping, and they've taken 1 point off his stamina. So heading and jumping nerfed a bit, a point off his stamina. Why would you do that? I don't know. But that's what they've done. Outside of those ones and the ones they boosted the most, the rest are just up by sort of 1 or 2. Maybe it's by 3 in a few cases, and some not boosted at all. So yeah, mixed boost. It is on the whole, it is a decent boost. And let's see how good he actually is on the whole. Like I say, pace is potentially the difference maker with this card because he's quicker than he tends to be Lautaro. This is a quick Lautaro Martínez card, and he's a goal poacher, so that's important. We've had a lot of versions of him, and I can remember reviewing a bunch of them in the past where I've said that he doesn't quite have the pace for a goal poacher. That's one thing that holds him back a bit, but that's not holding him back this time. The speed could still be a bit higher, but acceleration 94. Apart from Legend and Showtime ones, I mean, I don't even know about those ones to be honest, but I can't remember seeing a Lautaro card with that much acceleration. Awareness 95 is fantastic. Finishings at 90 is bang on. That's what I look for. On the ball, he's fairly tidy for a goal poacher. A nice bit of kicking power. Bit of physical strength on him. Reasonable balance. This is a nice looking Lautaro card. I like the look of this. What would I change? Would I retrain him at all? I would leave the finishing right where it is. I think you can actually afford to lose a bit of dexterity if you want to get that speed up a little bit. There's different things you can do. If you want to get that speed up to 90, kicking power plus 90, for me personally, I think that's worth doing, and you can do it as simple as that. The balance could be higher then. Obviously, the balance isn't brilliant, but I think you'll be okay. You've got a bit of physical strength on him. He is fairly tidy on the ball. Kicking power is important. Speed likewise in the goal poacher. I would do that personally. That's looking like a really nice centre forward for me. A really nice goal poacher. Again, you've obviously got this guy for the Italian League Challenge. That's a big plus. So this is looking like a very nice version of Lautaro to me. If you're really not bothered about the physical strength, if you took those 4 off aerial, which you can easily do, he's still got a bit of strength on him. You could get his passing over 70, low pass over 70. We'll just leave it at 70. You've got 2 points left. Stick him on dribbling maybes. There's a few things you can do with him, but to me, that's a very nice looking centre forward. Like I say, the one thing for me with this Lautaro card, it is a very mixed boost. They boosted a bunch of attributes, but a quick version of Lautaro with the goal poacher playing style, very interesting. I've had a few versions of him in the past. He's always one of these cards that's deceptively tidy in the air. He's not going to be dominant in the air. Obviously, he's tiny. You know, his vertical reach, you see that. He's got a dreadful vertical reach, but somehow he does seem to pop up with a few headed goals every now and then. That's what I've always found in the past. So yeah, it's a tidy looking card, this. It's obviously a good card in the whole. If you've got a good version of Lautaro, it works for you, then you probably don't need it. But if you like pace on a goal poacher, or if you've not got a particularly good version of Lautaro, or if you've not got any good version of Lautaro, then this is a really nice card. You can use him in the Italian League Challenge, but even outside of it, he's got a really, really good profile. The attributes they can give for me, he's very two-footed, good selection of skills. It's a really good version of Lautaro, that. Like I say, we've had Showtime and nudging cards, but outside of them, I think that's about as good as you're going to get, and it's certainly about as quick as you're going to get on a Lautaro card. So I think for a lot of people, this Lautaro card might be the pick of the pack. It's a very nice centre forward card. One left. That's the Kang-In. They're going from PSG. So before I forget, for some reason, this Kang card does not have a club affiliation. So apparently he's not a PSG player anymore. I don't know why that is. They do often have 2 versions of players from parts of Asia. The one for kind of one based on their club and one based on their country. I don't know why they separate it. I don't know if it's a financial thing, a legal thing, or what it is. But for whatever reason, this League Kang-In card does not have a club affiliation, so you can't use him in the league challenge. But even if you played for PSG, you couldn't that way either, unless it was like a European clubs challenge. So yeah, that's a negative, the lack of club affiliation. It's a strange one. He's got a face scan. He's got unwavering form again. Hidden away behind that stupid face is unwavering form. He's a great playmaker like he always is. I've been waiting ages for him to give us a version of Kang that's not a playmaker. I've had a couple of Player of the Week ones, but I want a highlight card of Kang that's not a playmaker because I really like him. I've got a previous version of him, and that's a good time to mention that because I need to compare him. But yeah, I've got a highlight card of Kang that was in one of those packs with a kind of yellow background, like was it MVPs or Fans Choice, something like that. And I've always been pretty happy with it. And there's been a bunch of other highlight cards of Kang as well as a few Player of the Weeks. There's been a whole Player of the Week, a deep line forward, I think. All kind of, not all of them, but certainly the better ones quite similar to this. But to be honest, if you look at all his highlight cards, all his Player of the Week cards, I think this is about as good as there's been. It might be the best Kang card we've had. It's a tidy looking card. He's got a nice section skills. He's got a few skills in the ball, self control. He's got the passing. He's got crossing. No shooting skills though. A bit of a shame. You might want to give him a few shooting skills, but let's just jump straight over to eFootball Hub or train up Kang. And as you can see, he's pretty tidy. It's a pretty tidy card. Chat's just saying Sonia Min also has a separate Spurs GB card and separate. Yeah, there's a bunch of players in Asia for some reason, but they have different versions. There's one version club affiliated and one not. I don't know why they would make this card based on the non-club affiliated version. It seems strange to me, but it is what it is. Like I say though, there's no league change apart from the European clubs now and then where you can use PSG cards, so it's not a massive loss. But yeah, you can't use many league changes, so it is a bit of a shame. So yeah, he's a good card though. As you can see, really nice on the ball. He's fantastic on the ball. He's got decent pace, decent passing. It depends where you're going to use him. He's auto-allocated as a right wing forward. That's his registered position in the game currently. So as a right wing forward, has he got enough speed? Maybe. Outside of the speed, he's got everything. Looking very tidy. I wouldn't do a huge amount. I think, to be honest, all I would do if I'm going to use him as a wide player, and nick some points up on the ball. You can go all the way down there. How much speed can he get on him? Oh, you almost get to 90. Easily done. Oh, not that easy though. I need another point. If you really want to get that 90 mark, you can do it. Pace, balance, on the ball, all 90 plus. Nice passing for a wide man. Finishing is not amazing. You could maybe take those points of passing and nudge your shooting up a bit. It looks like a pretty tidy card to me though. If you're going to play him on the right, he's a left footer. I'll consider giving him a long range curler. Cut aside him so his left foot, hitting those long range curlers could be very nice. You could play him on the left. He's got pinpoint crossing. Is his crossing going to be amazing? No, but again, you could shuffle the points around. If you're more concerned with crossing, you're not going to be shooting a lot from the left-hand side as a left footer. If you're going to be more focused on putting crosses in, take those points off shooting, shove them straight onto passing. You're only 2 points away from getting that +2 to get to 88 for crossing. Might be worth taking that last increase from lower body. It gives you 4 points. Straight to 88, and now those last 2 points, stick them on shooting. You like spamming crosses. He's left-footed, put him on the left-hand side. Could be very tidy, could be very capable. And then through the middle, start as an attacking mid. We'll go to auto allocation for attacking mid. Ooh, decent. Again, there's loads on his on-the-ball attributes, but do you need more elsewhere? I'd certainly like it to nudge that attacking mouse up to the 80 mark. Do you need to do a great deal else? Bit of speed or shooting would be nice. Do you need to? I mean, if you're not too bad about them, you can leave them like that. It'd be lovely on the ball. If you do fancy a bit more speed, a bit more kicking power, maybe some finishing, you could take a bunch of points off the on-the-ball attributes there. You can get his finishing to 80. One more on his speed there. 1 point spare, stick on aerial. Could be a very capable attacking mid. As we saw, we've got the passing skills there. He's going to be lovely on the ball. I've always liked Kang. I've got a Player of the Week version, and I've got that highlight card I mentioned. He's been very nice for me. I'd love a trainable version, a good trainable version that's got a playing style that works for me. I'd love a roaming flank version of Kang actually. But yeah, you can use this guy in a bunch of positions. If you play him as an SS, Battle's just saying you play him as an SS on the wing or IMF. Yeah, if you play him as an SS, passing not quite as important. I mean, you don't really need much else for it, do you? I mean, you can just make him a beast on the ball again. Give him more speed. There's different ways you could do it. You've got the points to shuffle around. This is a really tidy card. He's, like I said, the lack of league challenges to use him is a big downside with this card. But he's versatile. You've got a bunch of ways you can use him. You've got unwavering form. He starts off with a good set of skills, especially with his passing. He's going to be nice on the ball. Whether you want an inverted ring off the right wing, if you want to spam some crosses from the left wing, or you want to play him through the middle as a playmaker, you can make him a striker actually. Let's just see. Can he get his awareness and finishing high enough? No, not really. Not for me. He's not got the best speed. Early 80s awareness and finishing, fully boosted is not great, but certainly as an attacking mid, wide left or wide right, it's 3 ways you can use this card. As far as I can see, it's just about the best version of Kang that we've had in the game, statistically. And it's a big shame you can't use many league challenges, but outside of that, there's a lot to be said for this card. It's a really nice Kang card. It's a useful one. I think a fair few people, if they get this card, will quite like it. That is the whole pack. What does chat think about that pack on the whole? My thoughts on that pack, I'd say the same about most of these kind of national selection packs and the league packs. They're all kind of decent. One thing that we touched on before I started this review is that you often get some kind of somewhat rare cards, you know. Vidal is quite a rare one. Ríos, Gómez. There's a bunch of cards in here that we've either we've not seen a highlight version before or a special version, or we just don't see them often. That's one positive with these packs. If you like your rare cards, in terms of the actual ability, overall ability, you're just going to be strictly, you know, just want to strictly rate it on how good it is. It's not amazing. I think Lautaro is a pretty top card. Kang's a really good card. Aguerd is a very solid centre back, and then Ugarte, I think for a fair few people, is a pretty tidy one. And then you kind of got a bunch of cards that are kind of decent, but then you kind of It's kind of similar level to Player of the Week packs. You always get like a few really nice ones, then the rest it's kind of maybe not. So I don't think it's a bad pack. I think the fact that some of these cards are a little bit on the rare side does add something to it in terms of the value you get from it. And as I mentioned as well during the review, out of these cards, did I get it right? I said 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 8 cards in this pack that can be used in league changes. Obviously, 2 of them are Brazilian league change. If you don't get to do a Brazilian league change, it'll only mean 6. But certainly for anyone who does get to do the Brazilian league change, 8 out of the 11 that you can use in league changes. It's worth keeping in mind. So yeah, what's chat saying? Pretty solid. Poor compared to previous. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 people who said that it's not great compared to previous equivalents. So not everyone's loving this pack. But yeah, by saying Kudus, Marmouche, miles better. Yeah, so there have been better ones. Consensus is there have been better ones. So it's not the most exciting pack, and like I say, statistically, it's not the best one we've had. But I do think it's still a half decent one. Some interesting ones in there. I think a lot of the value you get from this pack will come from how interesting some of the cards are, how rare some of the cards are. In terms of overall ability, not that exciting. But like I say, though, you do have some good ones. Lautaro, Kang. I think that probably about 4 or 5 cards in there, very decent cards, could be very handy cards to pick up, especially Lautaro and Kang. I think those are the best 2 for me. And Aguerd as well. I think Aguerd is a really good solid centre back. So yeah, there's your review of that pack, your first live on stream review. So if you're watching on YouTube, let me know how you found this review compared to the normal ones. If you prefer the normal style, whatever you want to call it, let me know. I'm always open to feedback, good or bad. If you prefer it this way, let me know. Maybe I'll do this more often. But there's your review. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you found it useful. If you're watching this back on YouTube later, I'll be back on Thursday for Player of the Week. And if you're watching this live, I'm not going anywhere. You stuck with me a bit longer. So cheers for watching. And yeah, if you're not watching live, I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Where's my